We've definitely had our highs and we've definitely had our lows this season, and today I will be rating and reviewing each Manchester United player on what they did this season. Hey, right, it is Finia, that is FYW, and as I said, I will be giving every single player at Manchester United, bar a few, because some just really didn't play enough for me to give them a review whatsoever, and of course I'll name those at the end, and I'll be giving them, let's call it an American rating.
Woohoo! USA! USA! USA!
You know, that whole A, B, C, D, blah, blah, blah. It just makes more sense and it's just less complicated than numbers. So any player that is given an A on this list is a player that's really just exceeded my expectation and or has just done exactly what they were supposed to do. And I'm extremely happy with their performance, and I'll be happy if that's how they continue performing. B is, I am very happy with their performance, but I do find lots of areas that they could really improve in. C is a player I'm neither here or there about. It's just kind of players that are just, they exist. I don't care if we sell them really. I don't care if they whatever anymore. And then you get to D. D is just, that's not good enough, and I'm really just good with you. Just leave, please. And then you get to F, and an F rating is obviously just, why are you here? Please just leave me alone. Stop coming into my house at 2 a.m. and eating all my bread. We start off with the goalkeeper positions, and our first goalkeeper I will mention is going to be Sergio Romero. Now, Sergio Romero did make a mistake against Club Brugge, apparently, but I didn't really view it as a mistake because, I mean, it's the only really mistake he's made this season where he ran out and they ended up getting the ball over him. I didn't really see him having any other options, so to me, it doesn't really matter. Other than that, guys, I mean, 4 clean sheets in 4 FA Cup games and 6 clean sheets in 7 Europa League games. I mean, guys, you don't really get much better than that. I mean, best number 2 in the world. As I said, crappy title, pun intended. But I do have to say I would give Sergio Romero an A. And guys, I don't want the screen to get too messy with all the ratings and players there. So every now and then I might pop everything up so far, or I might just put everything at the end. The next goalkeeper we'll be talking about is going to be David De Gea, and David De Gea really, I would have said, had a poor season because he started off really bad, but he really did progress. He has had some bad moments, some ups and downs, you know, but it ends up happening. But you know, towards the end of the season, he really honestly picked it up. I mean, 8 clean sheets in 29 isn't the best record, especially for a player who was considered the best goalkeeper in the world, which I believe he can still get back to that title. But if you look at other goalkeepers, considering like the most clean sheets in the Premier League was actually like 10 or 11, it's not too far off. And I mean, 1 clean sheet in 1 Europa League game. At the end of the day, it wasn't a bad season for De Gea, and I would have to give him a B, you know. It's, you know what, he can definitely improve on it. Let's just hope he doesn't get Calvin Lewin any more goals.
It's not very nice.
We get into our first defender on this list, and it is going to be Aaron Wan-Bissaka, Mr. Spider-Man. He did exactly what he was supposed to, and I have to give Aaron Wan-Bissaka an A. I mean, this man is absolutely insane, and I'm not going to get into A minuses and A pluses and all the minus and pluses because that just ends up confusing everything. So you know what, I'm just going to give an A to Aaron Wan-Bissaka. I mean, when it comes to one-on-ones, boy, you better know he'll get you. And I mean, especially against big teams, I mean, he really didn't crumble under pressure. Mr. Iceman himself. And I mean, in that Man City game, him versus Sterling, I mean, you expected some real fights there. But at the end of the day, I mean, you just look at Sterling. He gets home, opens his pocket, he takes out his phone, he takes out his keys, and he takes out Aaron Wan-Bissaka. We get to our next fullback, and it is going to be Brandon Williams. And now, look, although it wasn't the best season of all time, I have to give him an A because before the season started, I had no idea who this Williams oak was. I mean, no one knew who Williams was, but he really popped into the scenes, and I have to give him an A. I mean, if I did pluses in this, it would be an A plus, you know? I mean, at the end of the day, I'm giving him an A because I did not expect anything from him this season, and yes, as I said, wasn't the best of all time, and this is according to my expectations. Like, if Trent Alexander-Arnold from Liverpool had the same season as Williams, he would probably get a B or a C. But because Williams, because I didn't know who he was, because, I mean, he hasn't really done anything prior to this, I have to give him an A for pretty much breaking into the first team and, you know, competing with Luke Shaw to be number 1. We get to the last fullback guy we'll be talking about, and it is going to be a man I've already mentioned. It's going to be Mr. Luke Shaw. I mean, who would have thought the man, or the boy rather, with the Beatles haircut at Southampton would have such a huge impact at Manchester United? Of course, he was our player of the season last season, but you know what, I will give him a B this season. I'm sorry, Luke Shaw, it's not because you necessarily did anything bad. I actually think you've had some key moments so far this season. I mean, you've gotten a goal in some competitions, you've got an assist. I mean, at the end of the day, you really do contribute both defensively and attack-wise, but I'm giving you a B because I definitely can see more that you can achieve. I really do see a lot more in you. And I think you still have, a few more gears and you still have a few more levels you can achieve. Luke Shaw, you did have a good season. You need to work on your fitness a tiny bit. I know it's not all you. You do get injured ever since you came back from your major leg injury. But you know what? A B, I think you will be pretty happy with that. Of course, as I said, that is it for my fullbacks. Sorry, I did not talk about Diego Dalot or any other fullbacks, purely because they didn't play enough games because they were injured, or they didn't really have enough impact for me to really give my opinion on it. Our centre-backs, and it will be the first one, is Harry Maguire. Now, Harry Maguire, I thought, had a really good season at some points, but at the same time, he didn't really achieve what was expected of him. I have to give him a B. I am sorry, Harry Maguire. But because you did enter the scenes as the most expensive centre-back in the world, I mean, let's be honest, your head is big enough to block the goals. I don't know how anyone scored against you. But yeah, I have to say, Harry Maguire, you did really, look, you added a level of experience to the team, but I do think some people did really expect quite a bit more to you. I mean, if I could give you a B, it would be like a B minus, that
Thinking B! Thinking B! Thinking B!
that kind of area. And I do think you had a very good season overall, but I really do think, you could just kick it up a tiny bit. I do think that you could achieve A next season. Lindelof is next, the next centre-back, and I do have to say, Lindelof, once again, a few too many mistakes. You weren't as composed or much of an Iceman as you were last season. I mean, at the end of last season, people were talking about making you captain, but I do have to say, Lindelof, you still had a very good season, but I do expect a tiny bit more to you, mates. I do have to give you a B. Two centre-backs that I did leave out is Phil Jones. Phil Jones only played 2 Premier League games, but he did make 1 error leading to goal, which, I mean, there's only so many chances you can give to Jones, but he did score a goal in the Europa League, so I can't be too upset about that. I have to give Jones a C, neither here or there. And Axel Tonzebe, of course, he didn't play enough, and I really do want to give this man an A or a B, but he didn't play enough, and he did make a few too many mistakes when he did play, so I do have to give him a C. I am sorry, Axel Tonzebe, I can really see you fighting for a first place one day. It's our midfield. The first midfielder we'll be talking about is Paul Pogba. Now, this hurts me so much, but I have to give you a C, Paul. I'm so sorry, but you were injured the entirety of the season. You only played 8 games in all competitions, which I know it's not your fault, but at the same time, we really do need you back. And it sucks, but I mean, you didn't play too bad when you were playing. I mean, 2 assists out of those 8 games. But at the end of the day, I do have to give you a C because, I mean, from what we saw, you really could help the team. But it's a tough one. You just didn't play enough games. I don't feel like it's fair for me to give you an A or a B based on your number of games. The next midfielder is Fred. I think Fred had an amazing season. Fred the Red, the most improved player in this Manchester United squad by a country mile. I do have to say that. And I mean, oh my word, I do definitely think Fred, really, honestly, I think he could be our player of the season. Vote in the I think up above if you're a United fan, or if you're anyone really. It doesn't have to be a United fan. If you think Fred should be Manchester United's player of the season if the season ends null and void. But Fred, I mean, I do have to give him an A. I think he's done super well. Look, no goals and no assists in the Premier League, but he has scored in other competitions. The reason I'm still giving him an A is not everyone needs to score in the team or give assists in the team. Now that we have Bruno Fernandes, now that our forwards are really doing well attacking-wise and we're getting the goals in, we don't need everyone else to contribute to goals, and I think Fred is doing exactly what he needs to. Scott McTominay is in, and I mean, it sucks that he was injured for quite a longish time, but Scott will always be one of my favorites in the squad. And I do think maybe could have contributed a tiny bit more, maybe could have, he still makes some mistakes. I do have to give him a B. Not because I think he's had a bad season or whatever, but I think he's had an amazing season overall, but I do see lots of elements of his game that he could possibly improve. But in some aspects, he definitely did improve on his game. I mean, 1 assist, I mean, it's not the best, but as I said, goals are coming from other places. But 5 goals or 6 goals in other competitions altogether, I mean, I'm pretty happy with that. I mean, if you did not know, when he was around my age, 18 or 19, he had a major growth spurt and he grew like 25 centimeters or 10 inches in like a year. Which, maybe I still have hope to grow.
You serious?
Next midfielder is going to be Bruno Fernandes. And I mean, this guy's only played like just over a handful of games for Manchester United. And I mean, in all competitions, including his time at Sporting Lisbon, he did get 18 goals and 18 assists. I mean, overall with United games and Sporting Lisbon games, which guys, how? I mean, this is a player we now have and I am beyond proud. So as I said, those numbers from Bruno Fernandes are absolutely wild, and in the Premier League, he's contributed to 5 goals in 5 games, and he is just looking like an absolute rock star. I mean, now Jesse Lingard has some real competition in this United squad, doesn't he?
Okay.
I mean, Bruno Fernandes is he is a hero. I mean, honestly, he can father my wife's child one day. Yeah, Andres Pereira, who, let's be honest, he started the season really well. He got our first assist of the season in the Premier League. But ever since then, it's really gone downhill. He's too aggressive and he's not composed enough when he does play. He causes, unnecessary fouls. He's really just not getting the contribution that he should. I mean, he got our goal of the season last season, but this season really hasn't performed that much. I mean, I do have to give him a D. Not because I do think he needs to leave immediately. It's not an F, because I do see elements of his game that do look promising. But I'm not giving him a C or B or whatever, because, I mean, he's 24. He really shouldn't look like one of the youth boys in the team. He really should be, a first-team player. Next midfielder I'm giving is Jesse Lingard. I mean, Jesse Lingard's, got a bit too much social distancing when it comes to the goal box, doesn't he? I mean, he's really just not doing enough for the squad. I have to give him an F because, I mean, honestly, no goals, no assists in the Premier League. It's just woeful. Yes, he scored a goal or assist in other competitions, but at the end of the day, he's just really not doing what he really should be doing. I mean, he's in his late 20s. He's like the same age as Danny Ings, and he has not achieved anything in his later years. I mean, a year or two ago, he was looking amazing over like a month period, and then, you know what? Messi Lingard just fell dramatically, so I have to give him an F. Lingard, this really isn't good enough, and I can't see you breaking into the squad's first team ever again. Next midfielder on the list is going to be the midfield maestro, Juan Mata. Everyone loves the Spaniard. I mean, he was the Eden Hazard at Chelsea before Eden Hazard was the Eden Hazard at Chelsea, if that makes sense. And I was really contemplating putting him in this list because we haven't seen that much of him. I mean, that's why I haven't put players like Bailey in this list, and why I haven't put other players, like Delo on this list. That's why players like this haven't been there, because I thought, we haven't seen him that much. But Juan Mata, actually, if you look at his stats, I mean, he's gotten a goal in the FA Cup, he's gotten 5 goal contributions in 8 Europa League games, and he's gotten 2 assists in the Premier League. I mean, at the end of the day, it's not the best Premier League work, but he still is contributing. And he has had 1 or 2 games for Manchester United where he has been an absolute hero, and he shows that he can still do things. But guys, I'm not too sure, so I'm going to ask you guys to vote up in the I thingy up above what you guys would give Juan Mata. So vote there so I know what you guys would give him. But last midfielder in this list is going to be Matic. Now, Matic, I really do want to say he's had some really good games. He's had 1 or 2 amazing games this season. But I do have to give this man a C. I am sorry, Matic. It's nothing against you. It's just you don't fit the current style that Manchester United is going for. We're going for a fast counter-attack kind of team. We're going for a very young team. So I have to give you a C. Not necessarily because you're a bad player, but just because you're slow, you're a bit older, you don't really fit the system. The first attacker we do have is going to be Daniel James. I have to give him a... I did not expect anything from the Swansea man in the beginning of the season. And then he goes ahead, gets 3 goals, 6 assists in the Premier League. He got a goal in the Europa League. Guys, he actually had an amazing season compared to what I did think of him. The reason I didn't give him an A is because after the first month of the Premier League, he did die down quite dramatically. But at the same time, he's contributed a lot goal-wise, assist-wise. He wins fouls, and I'm very happy with the young Welshman. Martial is next. I thought the man had quite a lazy start to the season. I didn't expect anything. He was injured. There was a long period in the season where I was like, oh, we need to sell him. But you know what? He actually didn't have a bad season overall. I mean, 11 goals in 23 Premier League games isn't actually that bad. And 3 goals in 4 Europa League games. I actually do think once Rashford is back, that kind of strike partnership is going to be delicious. But I have to give Martial a B. But Rashford is next, and Rashford, oh my word, I'm so sad that you got injured because you had an amazing season. I mean, 14 goals in 22 Premier League games. And you know what? You've had some star moments this season. I mean, from crushing Chelsea fans over and over and over. Yeah, that's right. I'm not going to let go that we beat them 3 times this season. Getting that beautiful free kick against them. At the end of the day, Marcus Rashford had an outstanding season. He also got 4 goals in 3 Carabao Cup games. And at the end of the day, Rashford is actually looking like a proper Premier League striker. I did not expect this from him. I have to give him an A. And I do hope that he really is ready to start without any injuries next season. Although the next season will probably only start in about 10 years. Greenwood is our second to last player, and you know what? I have to give him an A as well. I mean, maybe he could have done a bit more, but I mean, 5 goals in 7 Europa League appearances with the Europa League Team of the Week, and 5 goals in 22 Premier League games. I mean, the young Robin van Persie basically had an outstanding season, and this is from a player who only really comes on at the end of the game in most games and doesn't even play his actual position. He plays on the wing, so you know what? Beautiful. Last player on this list is going to be Ighalo, and I think Ighalo has had an amazing start to his Premier League, loan career. I mean, it's sad that it's only a loan player. I mean, let's be honest, breakups aren't even as hurtful as giving back a loan player. I think Ighalo's, it exceeded my expectations. Two goals and 1 assist in the Europa League isn't bad, and 2 goals in 1 FA Cup game. I mean, the man's actually had an amazing start to Premier League, and I hope that maybe we could extend his loan by a year or 2. Guys, so those are all the ratings. You guys can obviously tell me if you agree or disagree down below if you are a Manchester United fan or if you did enjoy this content. Anyway, please do subscribe to this channel and I will do more of this kind of content. Now, of course, all those ratings, as I said, those were my expectations, and any player I didn't mention there, it's purely because they did not play enough and that I didn't see enough for me to feel like I could give my honest opinion on it. So I hope you guys aren't too mad about that. But guys, I do love every single one of you. Please do subscribe if you did enjoy this video. This has been Finn, FYNN. Stay awesome. Cheers.